Well, hello and welcome to This Month in Hamilton. I want to start out by thanking WBCB 1490 AM for allowing us each and every month to talk to you and tell you what's going on this month in Hamilton. I want to also start out by thanking our sponsors, Capital Health System, Haldeman Ford Subaru, Saul Funeral Homes, and Angelo Onofre in the Mercer County Prosecutor's Office. We've got a great show for you today. We've got the president of Mercer County Community College joining us. She'll be with us after our first break. But just want to start out, as we always do, about telling you what's going on this past month and this upcoming month here in Hamilton, New Jersey. So we're recording this on October 24th and hope each and every one of you had the opportunity to come out this past weekend to our Oktoberfest. We had a beautiful day. Little windy, but everything wound up working out. We had the sun even come out and join us for most of the day. It was so good that we ran out of pumpkins, which means, and we bought a record amount of pumpkins too. So it means all the kiddos were out having fun, having a good time, getting their pumpkins. Sorry if you didn't get a chance to grab a pumpkin, but we saw still so many of you getting pictures and creating those great family moments for you in the future. Hopefully you had a great time either on the bounce houses or at the petting zoo. For the adults listening, maybe at the beer gardens, thanks to Blend and Killarney's. We had our great Eagles cover band joining us. So just a great time. Hope you make it. I even met some new people who said this was their first Oktoberfest. They said, now we understand why it's such a big event and why people keep coming back year after year. So really hope you had the opportunity to enjoy it. And now, as we turn the page about midway through fall here, we get ready for our Winter Wonderland event. So you probably have already started seeing the signs go up around town. It's the first weekend in December at Couser Park. And so really excited about that. We think it'll be a great experience. One of the things we've always heard some complaints about, though, is the lines to get pictures with Santa. So this year we hope to put a registration system in for those who want to get pictures with Santa, so that you're not waiting in necessarily a half-hour line and taking up all your time there, that you can pre-register for a certain time slot for pictures with Santa. So more to come on Winter Wonderland. You've probably already started seeing the signs go up around town, but we're really excited about it. As we are each year. Obviously, that Friday night we'll have the tree lighting ceremony. We've also changed the hours a little bit this year to try to make it more convenient for some people as well. So be on the lookout for all that, and obviously we'll talk more about it during our November this month in Hamilton. As we sit here today, again on October 24th, we're 2 weeks until Election Day. If you haven't already voted by mail, you can obviously vote by mail. And then for those who don't vote by mail, starting this Saturday, October 28th, running through Sunday, November 5th, is your early voting opportunity. So you have the chance, just as you would walk into a poll place on Election Day, you've got the ability to walk into any of the poll locations set up around the county. We have one here in Hamilton set up at Colonial Firehouse. And it's the same machine, the same procedure on October 28th as it would be on November 7th. But the state really wants to give people every opportunity they can to vote, to make your voice heard. So again, if registration's already closed, so if you haven't already registered to vote, you're not able to register, unfortunately, for this year. But you have every opportunity to still vote. You can still get a vote by mail ballot if you want through the county clerk's office. You can early vote starting this Saturday, October 28th through November 5th, or obviously vote on November 7th. You're going to see now a wind down of street projects and road paving projects throughout town. There's been a ton going on this year. Many of you have probably seen even the work from Aqua, fixing what they did, fixing the roads that they had worked on this year on Hughes Drive and in that neighborhood across from Scion Gardens. The county's finishing up their last project on Couser Road out in front of the ecological facility. But given the weather, or what we always anticipate the weather will be like in late October, this year maybe not so much, as we're expecting 80 degrees on Saturday, but on our road paving crews have to operate above a certain temperature to make sure the asphalt settles right and all of that. So we're at the end of our road paving season. It'll start again April, May timeframe. And so for those of you who still have issues, what we do now is just cold patches to try to get us through the winter season, depending on how bad the winter season is. So if you still need some quick fixes, please reach out to Hampstead. But otherwise, our road paving crews are done for this year. They then transition, as you all know, into leaf pickup. Our brush pickup continues, right? So as the seasons change, our focus changes as well. And obviously, we'll have more information out about when we'll be out in your neighborhoods. We always do one pass of every neighborhood for leaf pickup, but we have to start it in early November to make sure we get through the township, and we generally are able to do a second pass just depending on other circumstances like the weather, especially the snow forecast. So if you've had leaves start falling, start raking them and getting them into piles. If they haven't started really falling yet and we come through your neighborhood, odds are we'll get a second chance, but you can always bag them up, bring them to the ecological facility if you don't want them sitting on your lawn or in front of your house. So there's always a multitude of ways to get rid of your leaves as you're looking to do so. I want to provide a quick update on what now is being called Cooser Woods, right next to the Hibernians, in between the Hibernians and Woodlands development. We had a good meeting with the owners yesterday, and so we continue to make progress towards the township's acquisition of that property. Hopefully some more information coming out in the days and weeks ahead. So I know that's an important piece of property to preserve, again, right across the street from our recreation building, which is the old Bergalley tract and part of Veterans Park, right? And so, and sitting on a very narrow 2-lane road, that's Cooser Road right there, that's very frequently used, lots of traffic already. So more information to come out in the days and weeks ahead, but it was a very positive meeting yesterday, and we really hope to share some information with you in the coming days and weeks. And then obviously just other things going around in town. You're going to start seeing coat drives, Thanksgiving food drives, holiday food drives. Our police department, in partnership with the Marine Corps, has their Toys for Tots boxes already out. So as we move into the holiday season, plenty of opportunities. Everybody's looking out for ways to give back. Plenty of opportunities to do so. Just be on the lookout for the Toys for Tots boxes or the coat drive boxes, anything like that. There's unfortunately lots of people who need turkeys, lots of people who need the coats, lots of people who need toys who otherwise couldn't afford them for their kids. So your giving back really helps make somebody holiday season. In terms of giving back too, just last week we had our Habitat for Humanity Rock the Block event in partnership with St. Philip's Baptist Church and Bennebone, a fantastic event. Fixed up about 10 houses, had 100 volunteers, and so really just a great turnout. Really want to thank Bennebone for their sponsorship of the event. 4 years ago, we had many smaller sponsors, but this year just one large corporate sponsor, giving back to the community. We're the founder of Bennebone's originally from Hamilton, and so he even flew people from all over the country and even from the UK here to Hamilton, New Jersey, to give back to the community he grew up in. So really want to thank Peter and Jim and the whole Bennebone team for what they did, as well as our Habitat team. They do a phenomenal job in Hamilton. Obviously, they have the Restore and Independence Mall. They have built homes here in Hamilton, and this is the second time they've done the Rock-a-Block event. So again, just another way for our citizens, our businesses, to really give back to the community, to have those team building opportunities. We had police officers fixing up homes. We had our health department workers out there fixing up homes. So really just a full community effort on making Hamilton a better place. So we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we've got a great guest joining us today, the president of Mercer County Community College, talking about her experiences, her installation, which was just over a year ago. And I know she's got quite the vision to continue the great things that the county college is doing to make it a place for people, no matter where they are in their stage of life, to continue their education, to further their education, to advance themselves professionally. And we're lucky that there's an entrance to the campus. I won't say it sits in Hamilton, but the entrance to the campus exists in Hamilton as well. So it's very convenient for everybody here in Hamilton to get to the college as well. So we're going to take our short break, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Welcome to the capital of neurosciences at Capitol Health. The human brain and spine are very complex, and treating them requires a hospital that offers a combination of technology and specialists that are united by a single defining purpose, putting you and your family at the center of exceptional care. From brain tumors and spinal disease to strokes and aneurysms, if it involves the brain and spine, there's only one Capitol Institute for Neurosciences, and it's at Capitol Health. To learn more, visit capitalneuro.org. That's capitalneuro.org.
Hi. This is Mercer County Prosecutor Angelo Honorfree, and I'm proud to help sponsor today's show and promote what's happening in our community. All residents of your hometown should stay involved and participate in community activities, whether it's volunteering to help make your town clean, or volunteering at the animal shelter, or helping at a local youth event. Staying involved in your community makes your hometown a great place to live. This is Mercer County Prosecutor Angelo Honorfree, and I hope you enjoyed today's show.
Hamilton Township in Mercer County is fortunate to have many fine businesses that serve our community. Saul Funeral Home is a fourth-generation family-owned business proud to support our local schools and community. Their compassionate and caring staff is there for you and your family. They'll bring the closure you deserve while also celebrating the life of your loved one. Visit their website at saulfuneralhomes.com. That's saulfuneralhomes.com. Saul Funeral Home at 3795 Nottingham Way, Hamilton Square. Merrill Reese here to tell you about my good friends at Haldeman Ford Subaru on Route 33 in Hamilton Township. For outstanding sales and service, you can depend on the folks at Haldeman Ford Subaru for the best value on new and pre-owned Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs, along with a great selection of value-priced new and pre-owned Subarus. And no one offers the service that Haldeman does in their huge, state-of-the-art service facility. Service so great that many area municipalities and commercial fleets get their service performed by Haldeman Ford Subaru. From Langhorne to Princeton, folks like you to commercial fleets trust the name Haldeman for sales and service. Haldeman Ford Subaru, Route 33 in Hamilton Township.
Well, welcome back to This Month in Hamilton. Want to again start out by thanking our sponsors, Capitol Health System, Haldeman Ford Subaru, Saul Funeral Home, as well as Angelo Honorfree in the Mercer County Prosecutor's Office. As you see, I'm joined by Dr. Preston. Doctor, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
My pleasure.
And I know the headsets and all that are a little getting used to, right?
Ooh,
we don't do it as well as Colbert, but, you know.
We're going to make it work.
It still works. Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us. So just for those people, I know I teed it up for you saying president of the Mercer County Community College, right? But if you can just introduce yourself to our listeners a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thank you. So my name is Deborah Preston, and I have been president at MCCC for a year and 3 months now. So I'm still pretending I'm new, because I found out if you're new, you can get away with more stuff.
Absolutely.
Right? You know, people forgive you if you're new. So I'm still new. And I came to Mercer County Community College most recently from Raritan Valley Community College. Just,
Okay.
you know, one county over, where I was vice president for academic affairs. It's funny for me. I grew up in Georgia. Never thought I'd end up in New Jersey. I don't think I really knew where New Jersey was when I was growing up. It was just this amorphous place up north. But I'm enjoying being here.
Good.
Yeah, it's been great so far.
Every town, every state's got their own flavor too, right? Besides just actual food flavors, right?
Yes, yes.
And you get more seasons here than you do in Georgia. I know people, when you get a little bit of a cold snap, 1 inch, all of a sudden the whole state shuts down in terms of snow, right?
Yeah, there's no snow plows. There's no... The wiring is not underground. Everything just grinds to a halt. They're just not prepared. But, it makes for a fun snow day when that happens.
Absolutely, absolutely. So did you see yourself becoming president of a college one day?
So, I started out many years ago as a faculty member down in Georgia at a community college in Georgia where I taught English and I taught some theater classes. And... it's funny. I became a department chair at a fairly young age, and then I decided, no, I really love teaching. I'm not going to do the administrative thing. And then at some point, the president of the college down in Georgia, she said, I just see a lot of potential in you. I'd like you to go do this fellowship program and just see what you think. And I was the president of the college tells you go do something. I'm like, okay, I'll go do it. Turned out to be a great program that the American Council on Education puts together every year. And what I didn't know is that it's a program that tries to convince people they want to be college presidents. And at the time, I thought, okay, after I did the program, it demystifies the presidency a lot. You shadow an existing president, and you figure out that there's not one personality that can be a successful college president. So after that, I sort of changed my attitude about administration. I decided that you could really... Teaching was a good thing, and you could do some good things by being an administrator who cared about students and faculty. So then I just sort of worked my way up. I was eventually went to Maryland to be dean for the arts for 11 years. Wow. That was a great experience. Really large arts program at Montgomery College where I was the dean. And then once my children were graduating from high school and I felt like I could make a move without disrupting everybody's lives, I decided I was ready to try for a vice presidency and then now a presidency. So there were times in my life I would have said, yeah, I'm going to be a president. There were other times in my life I'd have been like, no, I don't need that hassle. I'm not doing that. So, but here I am.
And you've just slowly moved north, right?
I have slowly moved north. It is really kind of strange. And, when I tell people when I was a kid, I thought New Jersey was like a big parking lot or something. Just from what you see on TV, you only see the urban settings on TV, and I remember finding out it was the Garden State and thinking,
how?
But it's a parking lot. How could it be the Garden State? And but now that I'm up here, I'm honestly amazed at how much I like it. I do like the seasons. I like being close to different cities because I think at heart I'm a city girl and I like having, access to cool city life. My husband and I have been making it a mission to go around and eat at every restaurant that's recommended to us.
Okay.
In Mercer County.
Well, there's a bunch in Hamilton. So yes.
You have to give me a list.
Yes.
It's our duty to go out and, patronize.
It's a tough job, right?
That's right, but somebody has to do it.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving being at the college.
All right. So how's the first year been so far?
It's been a lot.
It always is, right?
Yeah, it's been a lot, and I came to the college at a time when there was some turmoil. Mm-hmm. And we were actually very close to our accreditation visit. So I started in July. The accreditation visit was in April. That doesn't sound like it's so close, but that's like a 3-year process to get ready for it. So it felt like it was right around the corner. And we were at a place where I think morale was not great, and there was some some concern we weren't going to make it through. So that was a big part of my leadership that first year because I realized if we could rally around that common goal of getting through that accreditation visit successfully, it would hopefully set the stage for being able to rally around other common goals. So we spent a lot of time on accreditation last year, and we did. I'm superstitious. They vote next month, but the visiting team gave us a great report.
Awesome.
I heard from my chair last week. He said the interview at the commission went well, so I just...
Fingers crossed always, right?
Fingers crossed. I don't want to jinx it. But that was good, and I'll tell you, at this point, a little over a year in, I feel that we've got a lot of good stuff heading in the right direction. And I was complaining to someone, I'm like, what do we have to show for ourselves at this point? And someone said, Debbie, it's just been a year. Settle down, right? Because I think in the next year, we're going to start to see some of this good stuff really come to fruition. We've put stuff in place. We've got plans in place for the James Kearney campus in Trenton. We've got plans in place for facilities improvements at West Windsor. We've got just all kinds of good things in the works. And I was talking to some faculty leaders yesterday, and they were like, what about this? What about that? I said, I have a plan for that. You just, I know we need to work. We were talking about dual enrollment classes in the high schools. I said, I know we need to do some work on that, but I know it, and I have a plan. And just, if you'll just stick with me a minute, we're going to get there. And they were really, the faculty are great at the college. They're very supportive.
Now, one thing, I was at your inauguration, right, and you talked a lot about diversity, but specifically, right, a county college is unique compared to a lot of four-year schools because there's diversity among race, there's diversity among age, there's diversity among backgrounds and where people are in their professional careers, right? I mean, that's got to make a job like this even more challenging.
Well, so community colleges have to be all things to all people. And there was a period in the history, not so distant history, of community colleges where we were criticized a lot for, mission creep, like for trying to do it all. And then I think at some point as a sector, we just decided we're not going to be ashamed of that. We're going to own it. Yeah, we're trying to do it all because that's what people need. And we can't say, well, we don't care about. If you're going to have community in your name, you got to care about what the community needs. Sure. And if it's not what you did last year, sorry, it may be what you need to do next year. So we're sometimes I feel like we're going in a lot of different directions, and trying to serve a lot of different constituents. But it's kind of the beauty of community colleges. We were using that pivot word even before the pandemic. When we have to, we pivot. We do what we need to do. So
talk a little bit about the student body, right? It is people, and they can come, right, whenever and wherever they are in their lives, pretty much.
Absolutely. I mean, as an open enrollment institution, we literally take everyone where they are. But we also try to think about what are the likely populations that we need to serve. So we definitely serve recent high school graduates, and we serve a whole range of recent high school graduates, from underprepared to honor students who just want to come and have a small class experience that's not going to break their parents' wallet, the first couple of years. So we think about targeted supports and targeted programs so that all those different groups of recent high school graduates get what they need. For them, things like, student life are really important because they want to meet other students and they want to feel that college experience, which I completely get. But then we also have students who are coming to the college not even for college credentials. We have a great ESL program and GED program for new citizens or for those who didn't make it through high school for whatever reason. Great program. We serve hundreds of students in that capacity, and some of them matriculate into other college degrees and credentials. Some of them don't. That's okay. They get what they need. And then our latest sort of emphasis has been students returning to college, either for traditional college degrees or for workforce degrees, because, and you don't need me to tell you that the world of work is changing so much. The nature of jobs is changing, and a person who was perfectly qualified for whatever they were doing 15 years ago, that job may not even exist anymore.
Sure.
So we're trying to think about, how do we serve those students? How do we make it fit into their lives? Because a lot of them already work. So does that mean we need extra supports on the weekend? Do we need more evening classes? What do we need to make those students feel welcome, feel like they're in with their own peers?
Sure.
Because it's awkward to be like the oldest, the youngest.
Yes.
So that's really a big part of our recent focus. And then we also think about the way our demographics are changing in the county. For example, the demographics of Trenton are much more Hispanic. Hispanic is the federal word, so forgive me for I never know if I should say Latinx or Hispanic. I tend to think in the federal lingo because that's how we get our funding. So we're now thinking about what are some grant programs we can get into to make sure we have supports for the Latino population, because that's going to be a big part of our student body.
And then you almost have to shift too, depending on the businesses that are coming into the area, especially some, Mercer County, thankfully, is home to lots of pharmaceutical businesses, right?
Yes.
But those businesses need skilled workers on any number of different areas, right?
There is some exciting stuff going on in pharmaceutical that we're about to get in very intentionally. And I'm proud to say we're even trying to think about what businesses could we bring to the community. One of the things we're working on a lot is really trying to think out ahead, because when you read in the newspaper that there's this skills gap, that there are thousands of jobs in this industry and no one, well, then it just feels too late. It's going to take you years to develop a program and get the people trained and get them, and by then the technology is going to have changed anyway. So we're trying to think really hard, and there's some exciting new developments in pharmaceutical that are going to require skilled technicians. A lot of the pharmaceutical workers, if you're in R&D, you need PhDs for that, but as that industry changes, there's going to be some interesting and exciting new jobs to do there that we're thinking about.
And jobs that can bring you into the middle class, be able to afford a roof on your head, right? Be able to put food on the table,
Absolutely.
Start a family.
Absolutely.
Which is a goal as well.
We on principle, we don't do programs that don't pay a living wage.
Yeah.
And I do have industry reps come sometimes and say, well, we need more of this. We have a shortage. And I say, well, if you paid more, you might not have a shortage, and we're not gonna offer a program that just pays minimum wage.
Sure.
People can get minimum wage without going to college.
Yep.
So, no, no, sorry.
Well, Dr. Preston, we got to take a short break.
Okay.
I know we're just getting into some great things, right?
Yeah.
But we'll be back in just a moment to continue the conversations on the good things the college has going on.
Capital Health's primary care network continues to grow, bringing its extensive option of locations to your neighborhood. Whether you're scheduling a wellness checkup or not feeling well, advanced medicine starts with a Capital Health primary care doctor at locations near you in Mercer, Bucks, and Burlington counties. To find a Capital Health primary care location that's convenient for you, visit capitalmedicalgroup.org. That's capitalmedicalgroup.org.
Hi, This is Mercer County Prosecutor Angelo Honorfree, and I'm proud to help sponsor today's show and promote what's happening in our community. All residents of your hometown should stay involved and participate in community activities, whether it's volunteering to help make your town clean, or volunteering at the animal shelter, or helping at a local youth event. Staying involved in your community makes your hometown a great place to live. This is Mercer County Prosecutor Angelo Honorfree, and I hope you enjoyed today's show.
Hamilton Township in Mercer County is fortunate to have many fine businesses that serve our community. Saul Funeral Home is a fourth-generation family-owned business proud to support our local schools and community. Their compassionate and caring staff is there for you and your family. They'll bring the closure you deserve while also celebrating the life of your loved one. Visit their website at saulfuneralhomes.com. That's saulfuneralhomes.com. Saul Funeral Home at 3795 Nottingham Way, Hamilton Square. Merrill Reese, here to tell you about my good friends at Haldeman Ford Subaru on Route 33 in Hamilton Township. For outstanding sales and service, you can depend on the folks at Haldeman Ford Subaru for the best value on new and pre-owned Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs, along with a great selection of value-priced new and pre-owned Subarus. And no one offers the service that Haldeman does in their huge, state-of-the-art service facility. Service so great that many area municipalities and commercial fleets get their service performed by Haldeman Ford Subaru. From Langhorne to Princeton, folks like you to commercial fleets trust the name Haldeman for sales and service. Haldeman Ford Subaru, Route 33 in Hamilton Township.
Well, welcome back to This Month in Hamilton. Want to again start out by thanking our sponsors, Angelo Honorfree in the Mercer County Prosecutor's Office, Capital Health System, Haldeman Ford Subaru, and Saul Funeral Homes. So, Dr. Preston, I know we took a break right in the middle of a really exciting conversation, right? Because we do. We have, in Hamilton, we have Genesis Biotechnology, right? In Hopewell, they just have Bigene moving in. In Lawrence, they have the Bristol-Myers Squibb, right? And so Mercer County, and to a large extent, New Jersey is home to a lot of pharmaceutical companies. But with so many coming in, with so much investment coming in, especially to Mercer County, right? I know I cut you off a little bit on the pharmaceutical talk, but please continue on it.
Well, thank you, because it's a really exciting topic. And, you know, as I was saying, there was a time when it was hard for our students to really have a place in the pharmaceutical industry, because if you were in R&D, you had to have a PhD. And a lot of the production of actual medications had moved out of New Jersey. But there's a whole new trend in pharmaceuticals, couple things that I think are going to be real opportunities for our students. One is this whole trend towards, so the official name is aseptic manufacturing. That's clean rooms, work that has to be done in clean rooms. So, for example, when I was at Raritan as vice president for academics, we were approached by folks at Janssen because they're really ramping up the work they do in clean rooms. And the work they're doing is cell manipulation for cancer patients. So that's a therapy that is just going to grow by leaps and bounds. Everyone's going to be doing it. So we have now partnered with my old college, Raritan, to work with different pharmaceutical companies, because one college isn't going to be able to train enough people. They're going to need so many people. And that process is so complex. It involves, they need people to train people to gown up correctly to go into a clean room.
Wow.
They need people who know how to work on the special HVAC systems that keep the air clean in a clean room. They need people who know how to set up and break down equipment. They need, so you don't even have to be doing the actual cell manipulation. There's so much
ancillary.
Yes, adjacent support work. I mean, there's a whole, I'm learning about this whole process of how you track the movement of the cells, because the cells come from an actual cancer patient. And then they go to the lab and they're manipulated and then they come back to the cancer patient. So the beauty of this is you can't do this very far from the cancer patient. So this cannot be sent overseas
Gotcha.
to be done. All of these clean rooms, these clean labs, are going to have to be established at best regionally. Locally is better because the cells can't travel that far, if you see what I'm saying.
And that's the benefit of being New York and Philadelphia, Boston,
Yes.
D.C., right?
Yes, so we'll be training students for these jobs that we don't really have to worry are going to be, sent overseas or, sent to a big processing plant in, Las Vegas or somewhere. So the one thing that might happen is that there will be some automation of the process that doesn't happen now. But, people worry about automation. I'm like, yeah, someone's got to fix those machines.
Mm-hmm.
So let's not get too upset about automation. They're going to need technicians for that, too.
Everything breaks, right?
Yeah, so we're just like we're thinking this could have, this could just be, it's a great opportunity for our students. The work they're doing is, improving the lives of patients. It's work you can feel good about and work you can feel good about supporting. And then the other thing I'm really interested in, and this is a little bit down the road, but Rutgers, for example, has a lab where they're working a lot on 3D printing of live cells, like to make replacement human organs.
Wow.
It's already being done for one of the less complicated, the spleen maybe. I know nothing about this. Anyway.
I barely passed biology, so you're not going to get it from me.
It's all good. It's all good. But this is another thing that's going to need technicians. So, once they perfect this technology, they're going to need technicians to run the 3D printers without killing the cells. So it's going to take not a PhD to do it, but some training in biology or chemistry. So we're just really trying to think about, like, what are these, electric, and this is a different industry, but electric vehicle repair. Mm-hmm. Not enough people out there know how to do that. And so how can we, we're getting our first electric vehicle, we think. If we're trying to get it through a grant, we think we've got it. So we'll be teaching students that. And then we were talking to some folks from Bristol Myers Squibb the other day who said that not only is everyone going to need more clean rooms, but they're going to need to be modular. They're going to need to be able to switch over what they do. So we got to thinking, well, who makes those clean rooms? And maybe they'd like to come make them in New Jersey. We're just trying to, because then we could be a part of that solution as well. So we're trying to be realistic, but we're trying to think big, and we're trying to just think out ahead so that when these jobs are suddenly viable, needed jobs, we can say, yeah, okay, we're ready.
Yeah.
We're ready to make it happen.
Well, you'll make our the county economic development director very happy when he goes to pitch these businesses, right? That we've got the workforce.
Yeah.
He also happens to be a Hamilton councilman.
Nice.
But you'll make him very happy. But I want to talk for a second on convenience, right? So you can have all these programs, these forward-thinking job programs, but for people in the county, obviously the community college is already convenient. It's located within the county, but you almost have to be convenient on a neighborhood level, right? And you almost, I know you've got a few campuses, but just talk a little bit about the campuses you have, right? Where they're located, how that breeds that convenience of getting people into the college too.
Yeah, so we're located, almost all of our programs are either at West Windsor or in Trenton at the James Kearney campus. And we do have a shuttle that goes back and forth between those two. We also have, and this is not a campus, but we also have a great partnership with Ryder to house some of our students. We had been really interested in doing on-campus student housing for a while. It's much more prevalent in other states. It hasn't really been a thing in New Jersey. But that's also, we think, an important campus life experience for some of our students.
Student life.
Yeah, the student life. So that's not really a campus, but we do have students there. We are running our shuttle through there. But, the convenience is very important, and we've got to do a better job of making the Trenton campus more convenient. We're finding out that because we don't offer enough programs in Trenton, we have students taking the bus, taking the shuttle, who live in Trenton, but are going all the way to West Windsor to take their classes. And we won't ever be able to bring every program.
Sure.
So we're happy to keep bringing students on the shuttle to get the programs they want. But when you know you've got students who don't have their own transportation, or who they just have a lot of responsibilities and they can't spend an hour both ways on whichever bus.
Sure.
You want to think about convenience from that perspective too. So we're looking to bring some exciting programs down to Trenton. We're looking to bring some new programs to Trenton that we don't have at West Windsor, so that we generate some excitement around that campus and get more people interested in being there. So, for example, we've got a warehouse that we already own in Trenton next to one of our buildings that's never been renovated. It's a mess. But what we'd like to do is take that warehouse and turn it into an urban farming center, where we teach aquaponics, hydroponics, have sort of a built-in like mini conference center for the study of horticulture and urban farming and vertical farming. So that's the kind of thing, and we're working on piecing together a couple of different grants to try to make that happen. But that's the kind of thing that will be unique to Trenton. It will, and it works on a couple of levels. One, it addresses the question of food deserts, and that's important. But it also has, again, workforce implications. Pharmaceuticals, back to pharmaceuticals. Aquaponics, that's the one where you grow the product and the fish are in the bottom and it becomes sort of a self-sustaining ecosystem. So pharmaceuticals are now using aquaponics for some of their growing of the different materials that they need in some of the drugs. So training a cadre of workers who know how to set up and manage those systems, we think could be really great. So that's one of the things we're bringing to Trenton. We're just, and then West Windsor is such a beautiful campus, and it has so many great, thriving programs. And I'm a really big believer in, you can always make things better. So we're trying to figure out how to get an auto shop on that campus. We've been very generously hosted over at the technical school for many years. They've been great partners. We've outgrown that space. And so we're, especially now that we want to put in electrical vehicle repair, because that requires a completely different type of bay, because frankly of the danger of electrocution. So you have to have all this special stuff, So we're thinking about, okay, how could we make that, happen on West Windsor campus? We have a fabulous horticulture program at West Windsor that wins prizes at the Philadelphia Flower Show every year. I'm sad to report the greenhouse is falling down. It just, it was built so many years ago, and we've taped it back together with, duct tape and chewing gum. And we just, that's a great program, and those students deserve, a nice non-leaky place to, study horticulture. So we're, looking at what we can do to bring some of the facilities really up to par at West Windsor, because it's a beautiful campus, but it's starting to show its age in terms of the infrastructure.
Yeah, which happens over time, right?
Absolutely. I mean, and we're not alone. I mean, so many community colleges across the country were all founded or built in the 60s. So we all have these buildings that are about the same age. Our HVAC is failing.
That's the fun part of administration, right? Triaging all these
the
things.
stuff you never thought you'd have to learn about.
Yes.
I have a PhD in English. What do I know about HVAC? But more than you would think
Yes.
at this point, right?
And roofs and all that kind of stuff, too.
Yeah, it's
right?
crazy.
Well, Dr. Preston, we got to take our final break.
Okay.
And when we come back, really want to talk about, I know, getting back to your inauguration, right? Some of the things you had put out as a vision. But we're going to take our last break and be back in just a few moments.
Welcome to the capital of neurosciences at Capitol Health. The human brain and spine are very complex, and treating them requires a hospital that offers a combination of technology and specialists that are united by a single defining purpose, putting you and your family at the center of exceptional care. From brain tumors and spinal disease to strokes and aneurysms, if it involves the brain and spine, there's only one Capitol Institute for Neurosciences, and it's at Capitol Health. To learn more, visit capitalneuro.org. That's capitalneuro.org.
Hi, this is Mercer County Prosecutor Angelo Honorfree, and I'm proud to help sponsor today's show and promote what's happening in our community. All residents of your hometown should stay involved and participate in community activities, whether it's volunteering to help make your town clean, or volunteering at the animal shelter, or helping at a local youth event. Staying involved in your community makes your hometown a great place to live. This is Mercer County Prosecutor Angelo Honorfree, and I hope you enjoyed today's show.
Hamilton Township in Mercer County is fortunate to have many fine businesses that serve our community. Saul Funeral Home is a fourth-generation family-owned business proud to support our local schools and community. Their compassionate and caring staff is there for you and your family. They'll bring the closure you deserve while also celebrating the life of your loved one. Visit their website at saulfuneralhomes.com. That's saulfuneralhomes.com. Saul Funeral Home at 3795 Nottingham Way, Hamilton Square. Merrill Reese here to tell you about my good friends at Haldeman Ford Subaru on Route 33 in Hamilton Township. For outstanding sales and service, you can depend on the folks at Haldeman Ford Subaru for the best value on new and pre-owned Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs, along with a great selection of value-priced new and pre-owned Subarus. And no one offers the service that Haldeman does in their huge, state-of-the-art service facility. Service so great that many area municipalities and commercial fleets get their service performed by Haldeman Ford Subaru. From Langhorne to Princeton, folks like you to commercial fleets trust the name Haldeman for sales and service. Haldeman Ford Subaru, Route 33 in Hamilton Township.
Well, welcome back to This Month in Hamilton. Want to again start out by thanking our sponsors, Angelo Honorfree in the Mercer County Prosecutor's Office, Capitol Health System, Haldeman Ford Subaru, and Saul Funeral Homes. Dr. Preston, we talked a lot about pharmaceuticals, right? But that goes into a bigger healthcare discussion, right? And Hamilton's blessed to have an RWJ Hamilton Hospital located right here, right? But we've heard, and through the pandemic and everything about nursing shortages.
Yeah.
Right? And so I know we talked about some of the programs, but you have a great nursing program.
We have a great nursing program. And, it's my job as president to say things are great, but the nursing program is actually great. It is consistently ranked as the best community college nursing program in the state, and actually number 4 in the state, all colleges.
Wow.
So we have some great people running that program who just care so much about the students and the community. It's a struggle to train enough nurses. And I'll tell you, we're doing some great things in nursing that I love, where we've added a cohort. We used to train 2 cohorts of nurses a year. We've added a 3rd cohort by creating a piece of it that stretches over the summer so that we can get, another class of students in there. We're also, with that cohort, we're diversifying the student body of our nursing program. We've created some new criteria and some wraparound services to make sure that we train students of all demographics to be nurses, because sometimes sometimes race and socioeconomic conditions will make it so that, the whole nursing program feels like it's all one homogenous group of people. And that's not good for the community. So we're really happy we've been able to expand, but it's hard. And the two main problems are, one, finding enough faculty. Because we need nurses with at least a master's degree to teach. But a nurse with a master's degree has a very nice career in a hospital.
Sure.
So it is hard to lure people away from that career. And then the other problem for us is clinical placements, because the accreditors require that students have so much clinical experience. But when you have a lot of different nursing programs in the area, which we do, at some point the hospitals just get sort of saturated, and they're in a bind because they need more nurses, but they can only spare so much time and space and energy for the clinicals.
Sure.
Now, one of the great things that came out of the pandemic is that the accreditors are now allowing up to 50% of the clinical experience to be simulated experience. And if you haven't been to a nursing sim lab recently, it's amazing. They have made these $400,000 mannequins that are computer controlled.
Wow.
Oh, you can make them have heart attacks. You can make them have complicated birth. You can make them, and so
it's not just Jeff Martin pretending he has a cough and a runny nose or something like that, right?
Oh no, it is very sophisticated. But this is expensive equipment, so that's again kind of a catch-22.
Sure.
But we're using that, and my big dream is that we either expand, move, create. I would love to have nursing instruction in Trenton as well. So great program at West Windsor.
Going back to that convenience, right?
Yeah, so that someone who wants to be a nurse can do it in a couple of different places. And we partner with Thomas Edison when we can. We partner with TC&J when we can. They have great nursing programs. We're trying to figure out ways that we can work together and not compete with each other, because we feel like we have more leverage to sort of get the resources we need if we're all organized, working together. So yeah, that's an important program for us. We have another really promising and exciting program we have is aviation. So we train between 250 and 300 commercial pilots a year.
Wow.
It's a big program, and a lot of people don't even know about it.
I didn't know about it.
It's an amazing program. In 3 years, a student can come out making over $100,000 a year, usually with a $100,000 signing bonus.
Wow.
Because you probably heard there's a huge pilot shortage.
Absolutely.
This is such an important opportunity for our students. And this is another program that we're probably going to move to Trenton because we think that it could have a real economic impact in Trenton. This is a program, the main downside to this program is that it's expensive.
Sure.
Because the students have to pay the fees to do all the flight hours with our partner. And that's about $75,000 over 3 years. So one of the things I'm doing now is running around trying to find someone or some entity that wants to sponsor low-income students to be commercial pilots. If you're a veteran, the VA will pay for it. So that's perfect. That's about 40% of our students. Also, if you were in the military and you have a rotor license, a helicopter license, you can finish the program in 6 months.
Wow.
So we have a lot of folks come in from out of state just to do our aviation program.
Wow.
We also have students come in from out of state to do our mortuary program, which is one of the few in the area. So
one business that'll never go out, right?
Exactly. So, we've got some great signature programs, and what we're trying to do now is just figure out how to make them more convenient to everyone, how to make them affordable for everyone, because programs with heavy fees can lock out certain populations of students, and we don't want that to be a consideration. So that's something we're working on a lot. And we're getting some help. I want to mention this, but we're getting some great help. Another partner in the community is Princeton. So Princeton's School for Public and International Affairs is using the Trenton campus as a graduate student project this semester. So they're going to come back with some ideas about how we can be part of economic development in that area. So we love partnering with Princeton. We have partnered with them at West Windsor because they send us graduate teaching fellows, which is a great experience for their students, for our students. So that's another exciting thing we have going on. And it's another one of those things that, like, we're in the middle of.
Yeah.
And I just keep thinking, all right, pretty soon we're going to get the results from that study. We're going to start to really see things happen.
So we just got a few moments left,
Yeah.
right? But end on talking about, your goals that you laid out kind of real quick, right? Or one or two of them that you laid out during your inauguration.
Absolutely. So the things I focused on in my inauguration address were that we really need to be a place where all students feel like they belong. They fit, they belong. And which sort of circles back to the beginning. I don't care what race you are, what age you are, what sexual orientation you are. We want you to be able to come to Mercer and feel like you're at home there, to feel like that's a safe place. And that takes deliberate concentration. It doesn't just happen organically. So we're putting, we have a great director for diversity and equity initiatives, but we're constantly looking for ways to make students feel welcome, to offer a special program that works for a certain group of students. The other thing I talked about, and this is something we haven't had a lot of time to work on, is I want us to really be educators for the entire community. So you don't have to be a degree-seeking or credential-seeking student. I want us to do more panel discussions, mini conferences where everyone in the community, I don't care if you already have a PhD from Princeton, you can come to Mercer County Community College and have an exciting intellectual experience.
We can't stop learning, right? No matter what stage you are in life, no matter what degrees or no degrees or anything like that.
Life would be so boring if we stopped.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. You're supposed to learn something new every day, or try to learn something new every day, whether in a structured environment or an unstructured environment.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. And I think community colleges, we have so much to offer because we do have such a wide range of programs and initiatives that we can easily adapt some of those to become educators for the entire community. And that's really what we want to do.
Well, I really appreciate the time today. You talked about living wage, right? And I say it all the time. My staff's probably tired of me saying it, but a rising tide lifts all ships, right?
Yes.
If people are furthering their education and getting better jobs, they're going to have more money to buy the house. They're going to have more money to sign their kids up for Little League or dance classes. Or,
the whole community benefits.
Yes, they're going to take their kids out to the restaurants more.
That's right.
All those kinds of things, right? And
absolutely.
It lifts up
everybody.
An entire community that benefits from their community college that way. So,
that's right.
You serve a very important role. I'm so thankful you could join us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely.
This has been
fun. I told you it'd be easy, right?
It's been very fun. Very fun and easy.
Well, thank you, Dr. Preston. Thank you all for joining us again for this month in Hamilton. I want to again end on thanking WBCB 1490 AM for allowing us each and every month to bring you what's going on this month in Hamilton, as well as our sponsors. Angela Wanafree in the Mercer County Prosecutor's Office, Capital Health System, Haldeman Ford Subaru, and Saul Funeral Home. And with that, we will see you in November.